Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake It's Me, and today is the Wednesday check-in. It is Wednesday, October 8th, 2025, and yeah, we just don't know what to do with ourselves right now. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to podcast.hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the podcast that is updated every Thursday. Make sure that you head over to the blog, hellocupcakeitsme.com, to give it some love. Make sure that you follow me on all the different social medias, including TikTok, for TikTok Tuesdays, where I do a little segment over there, just kind of catching up and really kind of posting content that I'm not posting on any of the other socials. And I am extremely active on Instagram. So, yeah, Instagram and Reddit. So you might want to get over there and follow me on those as well. And then you could go ahead and go check out the book Carpe Diem Scroto 365 Daily Affirmations, found at www.cdsthebook.com. So, how the hell is everyone doing? I am kind of middle of the road right now. The last couple of days have just been absolute shit for me. Everything has been making me mad. Everything has been kind of making me depressed. I've spent a little too much time in the rear view mirror and just like thinking about stuff that doesn't really apply to who I am at this particular moment of my life. And with all of that being said, also, trying to get through my daily fitness goals, my challenges that I've been undertaking, the whole 9 yards. And I'm extremely proud of myself in the fact that in the course of a month and a half, I have finished 3 of my challenges. The very first one that I did was my 50-mile walk. And that was for my fall 50. I turned in my mileage report, and I literally just got this the other day, but here's my little certificate for that, saying certificate of completion. This certifies that Michael Peterson has successfully completed the fall 50 challenge, hiked 50 plus miles this fall. And then Randy Householder, who is the founder and the president of My Adventure Fitness Challenge. And then the date down here, October 4th, 2025. So there's that. I still got to go grab a frame for that. And then also, I have another cool little thing that came in the mail yesterday, because I finished my other challenge, and look at that bad baby. Like, isn't that gorgeous? Let me see if I can get some better light. Alexa, turn on black lamp.
Got it.
Alexa, turn on black lamp.
Okay.
So, isn't this absolutely gorgeous? So this is my suicide awareness challenge that I have done, and I originally only signed up to do the 5K for this, but upon further review of my overall, I have done almost 13 miles, but look at that. It is beautiful. And it says choose the light. And this is like hardcore metal, you know, and it's got this beautiful Tyvek um, ribbon. And on the back, it says finisher. And so you can see that you have your 5K, your 10K, um, your half marathon, and your full marathon. And I'm going for the full marathon, even though I've already completed my requirements. I want to go for the full 26.2 mile or 26.2 kilometer um, goal, because, like I said, I'm already at the 13.1. So just makes sense to keep going. Plus, I have until um, the end of October to get this taken care of. But I mean, look at how beautiful that is. Like, that's tattoo worthy. So, you know, you have this yin yang design where this side is all light, beautiful, bright, and airy, and then this side is nighttime, and it says choose light with the semicolon, which is part of the semicolon project, and also now the universal symbol for suicide survivors, suicidal prevention, so on and so forth. And um, this this really holds a, a special place in my heart right now. Um, the other fitness challenge that under I have undertaken and completed was the swim 5 miles for the American Cancer Society, and that I had to turn in my paperwork for that, so that medal should be here today, I believe. And yeah, I'm just having a good time doing these, and especially right now, this time of year is when my seasonal affective depression or disorder, whatever you want to call it, starts to kick in. It's that transition from summer into fall into winter, and our days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer, it's getting colder and darker out there. Like right now, if you were to look outside, it looks like it's probably, I don't know, 4:30, 5 o'clock at night. It's that dark, and it's overcast, and it's going to be rainy and gloomy and all the other fun things. But you know, having these little challenges set forth for me and being able to just accomplish what I'm doing has been amazing for me. Um, and I'm kind of thinking about doing the Winter 100, which is where you have to walk 100 miles from November 1st to February 28th, I believe it is. So, yeah. And if I do 4 adventures with my adventure, um, myadventurechallenge.com, I will then get a 365, I'll get a 365 patch. And there's also another exclusive patch that you get for completing 4 of them. So I'm really kind of excited. And, you know, I'm still tallying the miles that I'm doing for my adventure challenge, even though I've completely finished that and I've already got the badge and all that other stuff for that. So, um, I don't know. There's like 6 more of these challenges that I want to do that some of them have patches, some of them have the medals, and I think I'm just going to continue doing them and raising the money that I can when I can, how I can, and just have fun doing so. And, it keeps me motivated. It keeps me going, and makes me feel better about myself. And I'm not doing it as like a bragging point or whatever, like, ooh, look at what I'm doing or what have you. But, there is that sense of accomplishment that goes along with that too. And I have learned this about myself, that I am very reward motivated. So, like, if I am receiving something, chances are I'm going to try to complete it faster, or I'm going to do it as quickly as I can so I can get that item. And, a lot of times that fizzles out, and a lot of times I stay with it for a while. And, right now I'm just chasing the dopamine, and this is giving me the dopamine hit that I need. Um, so yeah. What else is going on in the universe? Found out on Monday that my Monday therapist and I will no longer be working together, so I'm not too broken up about that. And I have one more therapy session with her, and then there's going to be a warm handoff that happens. And with I don't know who the new therapist is, but um, it looks like it's going to be an interesting thing. Um, so we'll see how that works out. Otherwise, my Wednesday therapist is going to become my full-time therapy person. And you know what? Like I said, I'm okay with that, because I really like my my Wednesday or Thursday, whenever the hell it is that I see here. I like that therapist. So, um, as long as I'm still able to do telehealth or whatever, or even if I am able to see the person in person, that would be helpful. The new person that I'm going to be seeing is somebody who works a lot with EDR, and that is rapid eye movement. I don't remember the entire the entire thing, but it's kind of like what I'm doing right now with ART therapy, where you follow, like, you follow this thing with your eyes, and it helps to reprogram. Um, so I'm excited in the fact that that is a modality that I have yet to try, and I need to also focus on the aut- um, autism, because that was a word that came up during my new sessions with everyone. Um, but I really need to focus on my ADHD as well. And just being able to get myself into focus. I want to get not only myself into focus, but I want to get my dissociative identity disorders and my internal family structure working all together. And I want to not only focus on my physical health, my mental health, but my physical surroundings, and like, just kind of turning off that part of the brain that, like, keeps me from being able to do some of those things. And try to find some kind of, like, maybe reward balance or something that happens with that. And I have a long time ago, before I even saw these two therapists, I was able to pinpoint some of my own issues just from taking the mental health classes that I've taken myself, and undergoing some of the study and stuff that I have done, and receiving certificates and diplomas and whatever you want to call it in those classes and in those areas of mental health study, and been able to draw a lot of correlations between cause and effect. So, one of the things that I deal with is disorganization. However, for me, it is organized. I know exactly where things are. Like, there's a pile of stuff in this corner, but I know at the very bottom in the left-hand corner, there's a blue paper clip. That's where that blue paper clip lives. Now, if somebody else was to come into my house, they would just see this pile of junk and not know what the hell is in that pile of junk. And I actually did this with my niece one day because we were talking about it, and she's like, "There's absolutely no way, Uncle. Like, you have stuff everywhere. There's no organization." My middle bedroom, or the dungeon, I was like, "Okay, I want you to go into the middle bedroom, and you are going to find several items, and I'm going to tell you exactly where they are, what's on top of them, what boxes are they're in, and what is around each one of those items." And she goes in there, and she's like, "Okay, I'm in here." I said, "Okay, you're going to see a box on this shelf, and you're going to go to the third box to the right. If you're looking at that shelf straight on, go to the third box to the right. In the very bottom, you're going to go through, and you're going to see a DVD remote. You're going to see a DVD case. There's going to be cords, this, that, and the other thing. And you're going to see a small trinket box in there. When you open up that trinket box, there's going to be a gold necklace in there. That is one of the things that you need to bring me." And then if you go to the other side of the room, you're going to see a little bit of a pathway to get to that side of the room. But if you go here, here, and here, and do these things, and so on and so forth. And she was like, "You explained every single thing in that room like you were in there with me." And I said, "It's because I know my world. I know what's going, like, people come into my space and they think, wow, this is disorganized, this is messy, this is whatever." I said, "But that's how I work. I know where things are." Like, I even took it a step further, and I went outside and I told her, I said, "I want you to move 6 things in just the living room, and then open the door and tell me to come on in after you've done it. Doesn't matter, like, where you've moved it to, just 6 things that you've moved." So, stood outside, came back in, and I was like, "Okay." I looked around my house. I said, "Okay, you've moved one of my candles, and I see that you switched the order that the candles were in, because my candles went red, blue, black, orange, and the orange candles missing. The black candles were the red candles supposed to be. You moved one of my couch cushions. You flipped it over. You've done this. You've done this. You've done this. You've done this." And I said, "And you did one other thing that you didn't think I would notice, and you changed this feature." She's like, "Oh, okay." Like, you're a idiot savant when it comes to, like, your cluttered house. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not making these things up." So I really want to start working on that, though. I want all parts of me to be focused, be okay, be grounded and connected and feeling okay about what's going on. I also need to get working on my book some more, even though it's been very difficult for me because the toxic environment and the healing child is very deep, very personal, very open wound for me because I am talking about very personal experiences. I am talking about people who are in my immediate life that um, if I didn't change the names, the people, and the situations just enough, that it could cause a lot of problems for those people, and it could cause problems between me and those people. And um that's something that I struggle with because as a mental health provider, as somebody who studies mental health, and as somebody who holds a state certification, there are things that I'm supposed to automatically, like, I need to report this to the police. I need to report this to Child Protective Services. I need to do this. I need to do that. And when it comes to my direct friends and family and so on and so forth, I let them know, listen, you are grossly out of compliance with how things are supposed to be being ran in this household. You're the way that you talk, the punishments that you are giving, the whole nine yards. This right here, if a social worker walked in, the child would be removed from the household. You would be arrested, and yeah, there's just a whole like domino effect of things that would take place. So, as somebody who could make this happen in your life, I want you to know, fix this, fix this, fix this, stop doing this, start doing this, and you'll be back in compliance. So, and I've actually talked to other counselors about this too, about, how do you separate those issues? Like, you know, you don't want to hurt the people in your life, but at the same time, you've taken this like Hippocratic oath to make sure that things like this doesn't exist. And it's like, is it how do you reconcile those things? So that's something that I still struggle a lot with. And, it's not something that I take lightly. If I involve an agency, it's because I have laid out this needs to be done. And it's not just because it's my personal, like, oh, well, I don't think you should be doing this with the child, or I don't think you should be doing this or that in this regard, or whatever else. It's literally like, this is what the Washington State Code says about XYZ. This is what the federal law says about ABC. This is what this particular agency says about this, that, or the other thing. So it's like, I'm not just like, oh, I know what I'm talking about, so you need to listen to me, and pushing the glasses up and taking this authoritarian stance on stuff. That's not who I am. So, anyways, going back to all of that and how that relates into the book, there's a lot of scab picking that I'm doing that is opening up a lot of old wounds. And as I'm sitting here typing, I'm like crying and I'm unpacking those emotions and dealing with things that happened to me when I was 6, 7 years old, when I was 15, when I was 23, just unpacking. That's the best word I can use. And, there are a lot of issues that I still have with my biological mother and with my father, and just, some of the guilt that I carry as their son. Like, I feel like I never lived up to the standards that my father had set forth for me. However, this is, it's not a parent's place to tell a child who they are. It's a parent's place to provide a loving home that is safe and nurturing and stable. And, you know, we are not carbon copies of our parents. And, sometimes people forget that, or sometimes people like dig into that in such a way that it's like, this is my dad did this, I got to do this, blah blah. That's just how a man is. And that's that's not how that works. Those are horrible, negative, reinforced societal stereotypes that do not apply to everyone. And that's an entire TED talk by itself. But just learning and knowing these things about myself and moving forward is just one of those things. And this book is really becoming a very raw and emotional thing for me. I have other books that I am also working on that, I'll do maybe an hour's worth of writing for this book, or 15, 20 minutes of editing for this book here, or whatever else. There's going to be a part 2 to Carpe Diem Scroto that is more meat and potatoes and like the mental health exercises behind it, where Carpe Diem Scroto is daily affirmations and mental health prompts and check-ins. This is more of like, okay, because you experience these, say, like bad dreams revolving around dogs or whatever. Okay, deconstructing down that dream and what dogs represent, and whatever else. And it could just be that they had a traumatic experience with a dog, never trusted a dog afterwards, whatever it might be. And then like the mental health aspect of that, and how to take yourself from being the scared person to now, okay, I have the tools to deal with this particular phobia, and moving forward from there. And then there's my little novel that I'm working on called Confessions of a Vintage Murderer. And then I'm also working on a compendium of short stories. So, there's a bunch of different writing projects that I have going that I want to work on. And I also want to get version 2 of Carpe Diem Scroto out there and get it in front of more people. So there's all of that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now, because I just realized that we are almost at 30 minutes. So if you have watched this far, thank you so very much. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, by all means, throw them in the comment section down below. Let me know what's going on, what your thoughts are, your well wishes. If there are virtual races or marathons or whatever else that you have seen or that you have done yourself that you think I might get some benefit from, definitely drop me some links. I'm always looking for those. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. So um, remember, you are doing the best you can with what you have available to you. And don't add to the population, don't subtract from the population. And in a world full of Karens, be somebody who cares in the world. And I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.